Man, that's some weird light right there. Shoot. Hold on. See if we can get this thing together here. Some strange situation. Hold on here. Trying to get the light right, y'all. Man. Can y'all see me? Because it looks like I'm half like in a dark room, like in a government thing or something. Could y'all see me? Let me see if I can do something better over here. You can, Mark? Okay. Oh, that's better. That's better. I think that's better. Okay. All right. I like that better. Heavenly God and say no. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now it's better, right? Naviska. Okay. Good. Yeah. I was trying to get the light right here. Hard to tell. All right. Shabbat Shalom to the 12 tribes of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, and his children are called the children of Israel. Shalom, Shabbat Shalom to all of you, and especially to the 144,000 who are also with the scattered nation of Israel, who serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name is Yahweh, who are being prepared to give a final message and to bear witness of the perfect righteousness of the Father. Greetings. And to those who were born among the Gentiles, not of the bloodline of the children of Israel, but as it were grafted into the bloodline as brothers and sisters in the faith of righteousness. Greetings. Blessings to the chat. J House, Brother Mark, Gary Joseph, my brother, Naviska 23 and your wife and family, my brother, Heavenly God, my sister, Superstar, my brother, and your wife and your children. Your children. Let's start with Z. Akawan Banya, my brother, and your wife, and your family. Stephen Kelly, Isha Shama, and my brother Shama. Azara Bat Yas Israel. Only one way. Shabbat Shalom to all of you. We are studying the epistle of Paul to the Romans. And we are now in chapter, believe it or not, chapter 14 of the epistle of Paul to the Romans. Shabbat Shalom. Also, let me not forget this. Brethren, please pray for my brethren, the Daniels. The Daniels family that has listened to your body, my sister, is going through some trials right now that all of us are going to be dealing with, but they are dealing with now in fire. Please pray for the Daniels family. Pray for them that the Most High Spirit will guide them, that the angel of the Most High will surround them, and that he will bless them through this trial that they are in. So yeah, please pray for the Daniels. They need it, my brethren. I've known them. We've known each other more than 20 years, haven't we, Sister Daniel? More than 20 years. Praise the Most High. Please pray for the Daniels. Without going into all the details of what their family's dealing with, just think of the trials that your family might deal with and add that, because they're dealing with all of that, okay? And so pray for the Daniels, brother, sister, children, mother-in-law, all of them. Pray for them, please. All right. So we are studying Romans. And today we're going to deal with a subject that again, and I'm finding especially, okay, as we're going through the Apostle Paul's epistles, we study in Romans now, right? We're going through his epistles. We're going to run into falsehoods from Christianity that have brainwashed us. I think the Apostle Paul has been used the most by the Christians to brainwash us. When I say us, I mean the true people of Israel, the true Israelite people. Okay, we have been brainwashed by the wooden cross in America, especially in the developed nations where the children of Yafet dominate. We have been brainwashed, and the Apostle Paul has been, unfortunately, an instrument used by Japhet, and the devil through Japhet to brainwash us. And again, I wanted to bring up the obvious brainwashing. You cannot tell me that 400 years of looking at a white Jesus Christ is not going to affect your mindset. You cannot tell me that. And if you try, you are lying. Period. If you're going to sit here and try to tell me that my forefathers in chains being beaten over the head with a white Jesus for 400 years does not affect us, you're lying, and you are a liar. Period. Let's start off like that. Okay? Let's start off like that. Because that's the truth. You cannot tell me. Okay? You cannot tell me that worshiping the God of my oppressors is good for me. You cannot tell me that. And if you try to convince me of that, you're a liar. Period. Let's start off like that. Okay, let's start off like that. You cannot tell me that a good portion of what's wrong with my people has to do with the brainwashing of white Jesus. You can't tell me that. If you try to, you're lying, and you're a liar. Let's start off with that. So we have issues among the true people of Israel. And these issues, at least in part, stem from the brainwashing that we have received over 4 or 5 or more centuries in the Eurocentric culture. I think we can agree. Okay? I think we could agree. And since we are witnesses to this, we are all witnesses because we all suffer the same thing. Okay? This does not negate the truth of this book. And in fact, again, when you actually read the book, see, again, we know now, we are aware, we are of the mind to understand that most of the people teaching from this book have never read the book. What's the use in reading passages from Apocrypha and passages from so-called lost book and passages from this book, having never really read this book? Start at Genesis and finish in Revelation, then get back at me. And when you finish, do it again. Do it a few times, 2-3 times. Then get back at me. Then you can talk about Enoch and Jubilees and all of the Apocryphal books you want to. Ezra's, whatever. But don't read passages and pick and choose. You know why? Because you're doing just what the oppressors did to us. That's what you're doing. You pick and choose in passages to create a narrative. Read the whole thing. Get back at me. Okay, read it. And listen, I'm not telling you to interpret it, and we're going to talk about that today. I'm not telling you to interpret it the way it's been given to me. I'm telling you, read the book for yourself. Read it. And come back at me. Yeah. Don't come at me with Book of Mormon and SDA and Sister White and Watchtower. Don't knock on my door talking about that. Read the book and get back at me. Read the whole thing and get back at me, okay? Because once you actually read it for yourself, you will understand where we're coming from. Once you read it. And brethren, as we are of assembly that are reading this book, and I'm getting people coming forward with witnesses, Brother Ruel, Brother Emmanuel Bakad, Brother Akawan Banya, Brother David in London, Brother Mark in Ireland. I'm getting witnesses that are saying, yes, we've read the book, and brother, you're right, it's changing us, right? Brother Gary Joe, are we getting this? Yesterday, my wife and I, my woman and I have been together. This year will be 38 years. 38. When I met her, it was in the Seventh-day Adventist church that we met. Right? And I think it was yesterday she told me, or today, she read the book of Job from start to finish for the first time. And she learn a lot from just reading it. See, people will give you bits and pieces of Job, but very few people have even read the whole book. I've had people argue with me about what it's about, having never read the whole book. And that's the thing. That's the hypocrisy that drives me crazy. You going to talk to me about a book you have never read? How can we even have a conversation if you never read? You hear? So the Apostle Paul has been, unfortunately, a scapegoat. He has been used. He has been maligned by the brainwashing of white Jesus Christianity. And because of that, it has affected us. It has driven us to insanity in some cases. Okay? It has caused us to lose what is supposed to be a blessing to us, that the Father has given as a blessing to us. Look, the Apostle Paul was not called forth by anybody but Father Yah. And Father Yah sent Mashiach, Yahweh Shai, to meet him on the road to Damascus and say, you need to follow me. You're one of my apostles. You see, the thing that the 12 apostles have in common, the 12 true apostles, is that each one was called personally by Mashiach himself. It wasn't even like a spirit calling them. It was the Messiah standing before him saying, follow me. And he stood before the Apostle Paul. He said, Apostle said, who are you, Master? He said, I am Yahweh Shai, who you are persecuting. He said, go to the city that you headed to a street called Straight. And it's going to be told you what you need to do. That's an apostle right there. There's only 12 of those. Ever. There's only 12 of those. Okay? The 144,000 are a different group because Messiah is calling us for a final warning message, but we're not the 12 apostles because we weren't in his presence. We didn't eat with him. We didn't lay down in a camp with him. We weren't sitting at his feet as he was teaching us about the Father. We didn't watch him raise the dead. We weren't there. So there's only 12 of them. Okay, there's only 12 of them. But we're a different crew raised for a different purpose under the same spirit. So the Apostle Paul, as we're going through this book of Romans, as we would do with any of his writings, we're exposing the brainwashed false doctrines of Christianity. You have to, because of the fact that you're going to run into them as you go through. You know, whoever believeth in the name of the Lord shall be saved. We went through that. The name of Yahweh to the Israelites, calling upon him in the commitment to Bible set, which he says, let your whole mind and body be given as a living sacrifice. That's what it's talking about. But of course, we had to expose that as we read through the book. If you were to ask somebody that loves white Jesus in Christianity, what is the gospel? It's the good news that Jesus loves you. Is that what it is? Well, the Apostle Paul explained to us what the gospel really is. It is the power of salvation given from Yahweh to all that believe, to the Jew first and also to the Gentile. For therein that is in the power of the Messiah's message. Gospel is a message. In the power of Messiah's message, Father's righteousness is revealed. That's the gospel. That's the true gospel according to the word of the Most High. That's not raise your hand because Jesus loves you. What has that done for us in 400 years? What has it done for us? Hey, listen, you go to any red-lined hood in the United States of America, I can guarantee you one thing. You're going to see churches on almost every other corner. Am I lying? You go to the most dangerous hoods in New York, Baltimore, DC, Chicago. You go to the most dangerous hoods, what you going to find? You're going to find Christian churches all over the place. Yes, you will. Has it helped us? Really? Has it changed our situation? Has it done something to inspire us? No, you know what they did? They being the powers that be. You know what they did? They used white Jesus Christianity and they combined it with the politics to create the civil rights movement. What did that do for us? That just caused us to vote Democratic so they can stay in power when they want to. That's all. What did it do for us, though? Did it change the hoods? Did it help us as a people get what we got coming to us for all 300 years of working for free? Did it? No. We got all kind of black mayors. You see, brethren, let me explain this to you. And again, didn't just be real with y'all. If you clean, right? You went and took a shower, you nice and clean, right? And somehow you jumped into a cesspool. Are you still clean? If you nice and clean and you jump into a cesspool, are you still clean? So why do I bring up that allegory? Because the political system of this world is a cesspool. It's by man. It's the children of your Yefet system. So no matter how clean you are, if you run into that system, you're going to become dirty. There's no thing. The Bible says, can a man bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. You understand? So all of these, they convinced us during the civil rights movement that black mayors were going to make a difference. We got black mayors in almost every city in the United States. Is it stopping anything? Is it making any difference at all? No, it's not. So today we're going to be studying another of the Apostle Paul's writings in Romans chapter 14. And this is about judge. Judge not that ye be not judged. First, let's take a look at Matthew, where it says that, you got people out here worshiping, stars and moon. You got men out here jugging each other in the behind, talking about don't judge me. You got women out here lesbian and licking each other up and tattooing themselves up, talking about don't judge me. Well, we're going to talk about this today in Romans chapter 14. But of course, we're going to get some other witnesses, right? So first, let's start with the Messiah himself in Matthew chapter 7. Matthew chapter 7 with Messiah himself. Now, here's a paradigm we're going to bust up right away. Let me ask y'all a question, Israel. Who was Messiah's audience when Messiah was teaching this called the Sermon on the Mount? What was his audience? Was he there to teach Romans? Was he there to teach Greeks? Syrophoenicians? What was his audience? Who was he there for? He himself said, I came not, but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay, so who is his audience? Israelites. That's right. His audience is the Hebrews. So he's teaching the Hebrews, people that are born in the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. And he's teaching them, and they are all cousins and brothers from different tribes. You got me? So that's who he's talking to. So he's telling us, we could say it this way in the modern vernacular. I'm not trying to offend anyone, just trying to speak the truth. He was there talking to a bunch of Negroes. Am I lying? He was talking to a bunch of Negroes. He was talking, his sermon was to some Hebrew Negroes. He was a Negro talking to Negroes. We get the word negroid from Europeans, but in the modern vernacular, so we understand, we can catch the vision, he was talking to black people. He was there talking to Negroes on a hill. Right? All right. So that's the scene of the Sermon on the Mount. Okay. So he's telling them how to deal with each other. You follow me? He's telling them how to, as Hebrews now. And again, let's just talk about what a Hebrew is. A Hebrew is not a religion. A Hebrew is not a religion. It's a nation of people that follow a God, the only true God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Adam. It's the only one that we believe exists. So you're not talking about a religion here. He is talking to his nation of people. That's who he's talking to. He is not teaching them Christianity. Nope. He's not even talking to Europeans here. He is talking to his people about what they're supposed to be following as the nation chosen by Yahweh. That's who he's talking. And he comes with his father's words to the nation his father chose. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Amos chapter 3, verse 2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. I've chosen you above all the nations of the planet. He was talking to the fam. That's right. He was talking to his fam. He's sitting down having a conversation between him and his fam. Okay. Now, the trouble for the Messiah began when his fam that was religious was talking to the Gentiles about him. Is that correct or is it not? Did that what happened? Was his fam bringing back reports and carrying those reports to the Gentiles about him? Yes, that's what happened. So he was talking to his fam. Now we can look now. See, because when you're dealing with judgment, we're talking about each other as Hebrew Israelites. And those, of course, let me not forget my brothers and sisters grafted into the Hebrew stock. Y'all grafted in a part of the fam. So we rolling together. I just want to let y'all know that. I might talk about white people and black people, but y'all understand. I'm talking about when I'm dealing with the Caucasians that are grafted in, y'all know I'm talking about brethren, right? So we talking to the fam now. Talking to the fam. And we dealing with each other as fam. So when you're talking about what the so-called Sermon on the Mount is dealing with, you have to remember that. You're dealing with the fam. You're not dealing with outside the fam. See what I'm saying? So you're not dealing outside the fam. So even if somebody's a bloodline Israelite, but they committed sodomy, right? And saying, don't judge me. No, that's not what that's for. Or you get two women licking up on each other saying, don't judge us. That's not what that's for. We talking about Hebrew Israelites that know who they are and are a part of a nation and know what God they worshiping. That's what you're talking about. Okay? And acknowledging Yahweh as their God. Okay? That's what you're talking about. See? All right. And that's why when Christians try to talk to you about homosexuality, they sound crazy. Because the statutes and judgment wasn't given to them. Because if they understood that, there would be no such thing as Christianity. Because there's not in the Bible. The Bible didn't call forth Christianity. It called forth a nation of people. Is that true or not? It did not call forth no religion. Religion is of man. Yah is the God of a nation, a government that's going to exist forever in perfect righteousness. Okay? Praise the Most High. So now, with this in mind, Matthew chapter 7, I'm going to read from verse 1 down to verse 12. Matthew chapter 7, from verse 1 to 12. Judge not, that ye be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again. Why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye? How wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye? Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, then shalt thou see clearly to cast the mote out of thy brother's eye. So as Israelites, what is our first priority? Not to rebuke Israelite brothers and sisters, but to seek by us to live righteousness of the Father. We are to live the righteousness of the Father. Our first priority, y'all who have been baptized understand this. Our first priority is to give glory and honor to Yahweh in our life, in whatever we do, eating and drinking, whatever we do. We're trying to give glory to Father Yahweh. We're trying to live as Messiah taught us by the Father's righteousness. We want that to be the object and goal. And we have to be too busy living it to be trying to push somebody else on our tip. You see what I'm saying? At our speed. Yes. As Israelites, right? Not as heathen. And we cannot expect somebody that's not awakened to be where we are. Like you got some of these cool, people out here that's selling out, right? But they not where we are. They don't understand us. They don't understand the awakening. They're not completed. So you can't expect them to understand where we are. And really, our brothers that are still caught up in white Jesus Christianity, don't judge them. They don't understand because we was there. We was there. We were there. All we could do is peacefully, patiently, determinedly live for our Most High Yah. We are not going to destroy this nation without Messiah. Messiah going to come and lead a charge that's going to destroy the whole thing. But we ourselves are waiting for him. We are being developed so that we can stand before him. Right now, we got to make sure that's the case. Make sure you and I can stand before him. Because most people will not be able to. And the Spirit of the Father will cause that to be drawn to people who are interested in that. Okay? Yeah. I don't know how this clown got in. But brother, you got him, right? Thank you. So that's what we are dealing with, okay? Trying to glorify Father Yah and everything. And then again, let's continue reading, like I said, but we're going to read a couple of other things. And let's go from, again, I stopped here at verse 5. So let's continue. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs. Neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you. See, just because you know the truth and I know the truth, that don't mean we could just give it to somebody that has no understanding or really is not interested in it. Don't waste your time giving precious truth to people that are not interested in it. Who does the drawing? Us? No, the Father does the drawing. Somebody will say, well, he said we're supposed to be fishers. That's right. So when you cast, in the days of the Messiah, what they did is they cast a net in the sea. And then they draw the net up. And then the net would have in it what it had in it. You didn't cause the fish to come in the net. Whatever was supposed to come in the net was in the net. You just put the net out there. And then you draw it up. You can't force the fish to come on the net. So when Messiah said, you fishers of men, you are wearing righteousness and you're being led to where he leads you to go. And who you supposed to talk to is who he has you talk to. Y'all got me? So it's not like you going and knocking on everybody's door trying to give them a watchtower. Or you knocking, have you read the Book of Mormon? We're the Church of Jesus Christ. Who cares? Who cares? So what we are seeking to do is glorify the Father, and who he brings through our path, he brings, and he will send us where he wants us to go. Here I am in Florida. Did I plan on being in Florida on January 1st this year? Nope. Even the Hebrew New Year, April 1st, did I plan on being in Florida? Nope. But 13 days later, that's where I was. See? And why? Why? Well, one thing for sure, if nothing else came from Florida, I met Brother Ruel, I met Brother Imana Bakash, I met Brother Yeshua, Yasha Yahu, I met him. I met brothers in Florida already. And if that was the only reason, that's good enough. But there's more, right, brothers? Y'all know there's more, right? So there's a reason. And he had me come across brothers that, listen, Brother Ruel, Brother Imana Bakash, Brother Yasha Yahu, 2 years ago, did we know each other? Did we knew each other exist at all? No. But here come the Father bringing us together. See? So that's witnessing. That's the spreading of the gospel, really. That's what it is. Okay? That's what it is. My wife said, you spending too much time with that Knicks. You need to get paid for that. And so I started becoming more serious about it. Some people say, had people email me, do you know sports is idolatry? And why are you being involved with sports? And blah, blah, blah. And yet, how many of you brothers come to this channel as a result of looking at the Knicks channel? How many of you brothers start off saying, let me check out the Knicks. What's this dude have to say about the Knicks? And all of a sudden, here we are. Did I plan that? I did not plan that. I did not plan that. That was Father's plan. Did I have to go knocking on your door and saying, come listen to Raw Hebrew? Did I do that? Did I have pamphlets? Did I come with the long beard and says, where's your beard, brother? Did I do that to y'all? Yet it wasn't me. It was Father. Our lives are being called by a higher power, for lack of a better word. Yah is calling us. And he's bringing us together. And he's the one orchestrating this whole thing. Not me. And there's others. He's, like I said, I'm very confident that the brothers that I have met, Akawan Banya, Brother Gary Joseph, the brothers I have met, I know the Father's being preparing y'all. I know. It's not even I think. I know he's preparing y'all. I know he is. Okay. I'm just the litmus to get it started. But Brother Superstar, I'm just used to get it started in this case. But he's taking y'all to much better, higher heights than I could bring you, because it ain't up to me. That's right, Brother Mark. He's got it going on. This is the spreading of the gospel. You understand? There you go. So it's not of man, it's of Father. Therefore, we don't have to worry about, knocking on everybody's door and making sure we demand they know of Jesus Christ. Do you know Jesus Christ? We don't have to do that. That's not how it was done. If he's telling you don't cast your pearls before swine, right? You can't just give it to everybody. The first thing is for us to learn it for ourselves and rejoice when we come together and we realize He's told you like he's told me. Praise the Most High. And that's why the message involves, please read for yourselves. This book, read it. And when you finish, read it again for yourself. Read it. Ask the Heavenly Father to guide you through this book. And when you finish, read it again. Read it. Okay? Do that. All right? Davy Hamadani. Tomorrow we having a live thing for that. This is not today's Bible study, brother. Today's Bible study. It's not that. I just want to let you know. Okay? I understand you might have come in thinking, we're doing Bible study. Tomorrow is that stuff, okay? On the first day of the week, we do that work. Praise the Most High. Let's keep reading. All right. Give not that which is holy to the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth. But to him that knocketh it shall be opened. Or what man is there of you, whom if his son ask bread, will give him a stone? Or if he ask a fish, will he give him a serpent? If ye then, being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Father, which is in heaven, give good gifts to them that ask him? Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them, for this is the law and the prophets. Now, let me ask you a question. Are you ready? What the heck would a Gentile care about the law and the prophets? See what he said? He's telling the brother, he said, this is the law and the prophets. Whatever you would have your brother do to you, that's what you do to them. This is the law and the prophets. What would anybody that's not a Hebrew understand about the law and the prophets? You understand why I say he's talking to Hebrews about Hebrews? You hearing me? So he's teaching them, you want to hear the law and the prophets, you Hebrews, you want to, don't listen, scribes and Pharisees ain't got it right. Forget the Sanhedrin. This is the law and the prophets. How you want your brother to treat you, that's how you treat him. Your Israelite brother, your fam. First of all, am I correct if I say to you all, looking at it as a fam puts a different spin on it, doesn't it? I mean, really, doesn't it? If I say, we fam. If I look on the Hebrew Israelite and I say, the Messiah is our cousin, isn't that different than what we've been brainwashed in Christianity? Isn't it different? Yeah, it's different, man. And look, we naturally can connect on that. Can we not? The Messiah is our cousin, our blood cousin. And we are our fam. And when we awaken to what Father has called us to be, we really connect as brothers and sisters. Do we not? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. You understand? Praise the Most High. See? So he said, this is the law and the prophets. Now, wait a minute. Have you all ever heard Christians teach that the law was done away with? Have you ever heard that doctrine? The law's been done away with. Have you, that Jesus died and the law was nailed to the cross? Well, why would he be talking about the law and the prophets then? Why would he be talking about the law and the prophets if they don't care about that? That's done. Why are we talking about it? Why are he saying this is the law and the prophets? That's different, isn't it? Our cousin, who is also our older brother, who come from our Father, is teaching us, his chosen people, as brothers, how we supposed to treat each other. That makes sense, doesn't it? Doesn't that make sense, y'all? Come on now. You know that makes sense, right? That makes sense. Because you know what? Have not we been trained to hate each other? Let's be real. Haven't we been trained and brainwashed to hate each other? Haven't we? We hate each other. You know why we hate each other? Because we don't know who we are. You see, brethren, you can't trust nobody if you're dumped into a situation you don't know nobody, It looks dangerous to you. Nobody's your fam. You got to watch your back. And we've been taught that for centuries. Centuries. We've been brainwashed on so many levels. It would take supernatural power, the Father, to awaken us. That's why we praise Most High, because we know it's a miracle, brethren. It's a miracle. There's no way. With all of the decks stacked against us like this, our Satan coming at us in 100 different ways, and we still awakening, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. Okay? We can't trust each other. We can't. All kind of stuff against us. Everything. Hey, listen. For example, a lot of brothers have been raised up in a scenario that fits the theme of gangster rap. What do I mean? Raised up in a hood, no father in jail or dead or gone, raised by mama trying to raise sons, right? Trying to raise Hebrew sons and don't know who she is and don't know who they really are, and trying to drag them to white Jesus church, to Reverend Dr. So-and-so. And they relate more to gangster rap because that's how the life really is. Then they grow up like that and they think it's appropriate to stop you at a red light, blow you up and get your car. Or it's appropriate for a group of them to roll up on you, beat you to death, and take your wallet. Been raised like this mindset, so that it really is dangerous. We ain't joking. It's dangerous. What makes it dangerous? We've been brainwashed. We've been brainwashed. And not only that, we've been oppressed. So you add the brainwashing to the oppression. You add the brainwashing to the frustration. And what do you have? You have the typical angry black man. That's what you have. You have the typical crab in the barrel. You ain't ish. You ain't never gonna be ish. You ain't never been ish. You ain't gonna do nothing. Don't we have that? That's real. That's why it's such a miracle for us to awaken. That's why it's ordained for us to awaken. That's why it's a powerful thing for us to awaken and see what these words are really saying in this book. Okay. 1 Corinthians. We're doing a lot of New Testament today. 1 Corinthians chapter 5. 1 Corinthians chapter 5. You see, brethren, our only hope is the Father Yah. He set it up that way. With all of the powers aligned against us to destroy us. And I don't care what people are trying to tell you, or it's really, we all have equal opportunity. That is a lie. And who says it is a liar. We do not have equal opportunity. And again, let me just remind you why we do not have equal opportunity. Let's say you are a people that you have gained wealth and power on a worldwide scale, and you've done it by rape, robbery, and murder. That's how you did it. You come through with your weapons. You came through and you killed and raped and murdered and took over and declared all yours. As a people, how could you ever let the people you raped, murdered, and killed get back at you? How could you ever do that? Because you know what they're going to do, right? They're going to kill you. That's why we would never be equal. See? That's why history has to be altered. It has to be changed. You see, the Most High in his word told us that the last powers on earth are run out of Rome. And he said they're like iron. He said they break in pieces, they crush, and they bruise. That's how he described the Eurocentric culture that we're now in Babylon. That's how he described. He said they break in pieces, they crush, and they bruise. And they're fearsome. Isn't that what it is? That's the Bible say that. I didn't make that. The Bible said that about the last people on the planet before the destruction of this system. That's what it say about it. Okay. And they're deceptive. They're deceptive. They break in pieces, crush and bruise and deceive. And through craft, they deceive many. That's what the Bible says about it. Not me. That's Bible. Okay. So with that, you will never be equal. Are you crazy? For them to make you equal is suicide. It's suicide. You got to understand that. See, they might let a few of us pop up here and there to make the rest of us think we could get somewhere. That's what that's about. That's still the house Negro. See, the house Negro gave hopes to some field Negroes. Well, maybe we could make it into the master house. Maybe we could make it there. Therefore, you bide your time and you stay on the field and you stay working for the master because you got no choice. Maybe we could maybe we could wear silk one day. They know they can never let you be equal. They never. Don't ever expect that. See, if you expecting that, you already, we have to expect the kingdom. Messiah's kingdom is going to free us. Messiah is the son of perfect righteousness. That's why he's called Yahweh Sadak, the master, Yahweh, our righteousness. That's what Messiah is called because he's going to make all things right. And in the meantime, what is he doing? He's making us right. In the meantime. Okay. In the meantime, he's making us right. That's what he's doing. And that's what he's got to do. We have to be prepared to stand in perfect righteousness with a whole bunch of nation that's going to be in perfect righteousness, with a father that's in perfect righteousness. We have to be prepared to stand in an environment where nobody's robbing, nobody's killing, nobody's jealous of anybody, nobody's lacking. We have to be prepared for that. You can't just stand in that with your old mindset. You need a new mind that's born again. You need a new mind. Okay, so Messiah is preparing us. Father, you and him prepare us in the trials and tribulations and things that go on in this earth. He preparing us. This kingdom is finished. It's not a question of it's going to be saved. There are people out here saying, we have to eat vegan to save the planet. I'm about to laugh my head off. You got to be crazy. Save the planet? What's wrong with y'all? You ain't saving this planet. Oh, you want to save baby rape? Is that what you want to do? You want to save sex trafficking? Is that what you want to do? Brother, no, it's gone. It's gone. We are being prepared for a new kingdom that's coming. And that's what we're doing right now, being ready for that. So let's talk about Judge again. 1 Corinthians chapter 5. Okay, it's only 13 verses long, 1 Corinthians chapter 5, but let's read it in pieces. 1 Corinthians chapter 5, I'm going to go from verse 1 down to verse 5. Now, the situation is in the Corinthian church of the grafted in Hebrews and the converted Hellenists. In that church, there was a brother that had sex with his stepmother. That's what you're dealing with in 1 Corinthians. That's how it started, right? That's how the letter started. So you had a young brother that had an affair with his father's wife, not his mother, not his physical mother, his stepmother. So he had an affair with his stepmother, and they're dealing with how to handle this in that assembly. Okay, I'm painting the picture for you. So they're dealing with how to handle this affair that happened between this brother and his stepmother in the assembly. Okay, and that's where this letter comes into play. And he breaks down not only that, but he breaks down a whole bunch of other stuff, obviously, in the 1st and 2nd Corinthians. 2nd Corinthians was what happened after the brethren took action on this situation. Okay, after the brethren took action on this situation. So these, again, you have to understand, these are Hebrew Israelites that have been converted into the tribe of Judah Messiah, line of the tribe of Judah Messiah there, and those who are awakened Hellenists that have been converted in the city of Corinth, which is now in Turkey, right? Today is Turkey, Asia Minor, but then it was people that were converted to Messiah. Okay, then everybody come up with this whole Christianity thing, and it wasn't Christianity. All right. But this is what they're dealing with. And he's going to show you what they called, what the people are calling Christians, what they call brothers that were followers of the Messiah that were converted. He's going to go into it in chapter 5. So let's look at 1 Corinthians chapter 5. I'm going to begin at verse 1 and read down to verse 5. It is reported commonly that there is fornication among you, and such fornication as is not so much named among the Gentiles that one should have his father's wife. Okay, that's fornication. That's sex that you're not supposed to be having is fornication. What is sex you're not supposed to have? Well, one of it, obviously, not with your stepmom. You're not supposed to be having sex with your stepmom, right? That's fornication. Sex doesn't mean you got not legally married by the state. That's not fornication. That's what they try to make fornication, to get you into the state. But according to the Bible, fornication is sex with somebody you're not supposed to be having sex with. There's people you should have sex with, and people you're not supposed to have sex with. Okay? Your stepmom, you're not supposed to have sex with. If you want to know that list, go to Leviticus 18, because that's where it comes from. Leviticus 18, Moses told the Israelites from the father who you're supposed to have sex with and who you're not supposed to have sex with. Well, that's how you get it. Okay? Adultery is having sex with somebody while that person is actually married, belongs to somebody. And fornication and adultery is almost the same thing. Okay? In this case, it is, because she married to the brother's father and she having sex with him. And ye are puffed up, ye have not rather mourned that ye have done, that he that have done this deed might be taken away from among you. So it sounds like they're judging the brother. Are they not? He said that he that have done this deed should be taken from among you. In other words, we don't want to be assembling with him. We should be mourning because there's sin in the camp. Y'all remember how in the days of Moses, when there was sin in the camp, the whole camp would suffer? That they had to go find Achan was the thief that took stuff he wasn't supposed to take, because the whole nation was suffering because of Achan. So apparently there's a situation where you could what? Judge. If it's hurting the whole assembly, this brother having sex with his stepmother was assembling with this group. And he said, why are you not mourning to get to the bottom of this? Why are you not trying to remove this brother from among you? Having sex with his stepmom. Y'all just puffed up like you got the blessing. And you got this going on in your midst. See? That's what it said. Verse 3, for I verily as absent in body but present in spirit have judged already. Judged already. As though I were present concerning him that hath done this deed, that has so done this deed. In the name of our Master Yahushua Mashiach, when ye are gathered together in my spirit with the power of our Master Yahushua Mashiach, to deliver such a one unto Satan for the destruction of the flesh, that the spirit may be saved in the day of the Master Yahushua. Now the Catholics went, and they went crazy with this here. You know what they did? They would say, oh, to deliver him to Satan means to burn him at the stake. That's what they started doing. They said, oh, we're going to burn people at the stake that we catch doing, breaking the church rules. See? No, but that's not what the apostle was saying. He's saying you cannot fellowship with us. You're not welcome in our assembly. You want to work with us, Satan? Go work with him, but you can't work with us and work with him. That's what he did. That's what he's saying. Okay, deliver him to Satan. If you want to fornicate with his stepmom, that's their business. They just can't do it and assemble with us. That makes more sense. You see what I'm saying, y'all? You can't do that and assemble with us. You can't hang out with us. Go fornicate in your house somewhere, but just can't do it here. You can't be with us and do that. And apparently there was witnesses. See, you got to have 2 or 3 witnesses. You got to have witnesses. So obviously his father was a witness, right? There was witnesses. Say, listen, these 2 are having sex. They're having sex. This is his father's wife, and this is stepmom. He having sex with her. That's right. But you got to go by the word. Got to have 2 or 3 witnesses, and at the mouth of one witness, you can't condemn somebody. So they had to have 2 or 3 witnesses. Otherwise, he couldn't even bring it up. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let every word be established. So somebody was talking. Okay, somebody was talking. So he said, remove such a one. Okay, now in 2 Corinthians, the young boy fornicated and they brought him back. I mean, the young boy repented and they brought him back. He stopped having sex with his stepmom. He repented in 2 Corinthians and they brought him back. See, that's how you do it. Okay, let's continue. And they all repented for allowing it to go on in their midst. You see, brethren, when two people in your assembly are doing such things and you know it, you're guilty as well. Just like the whole nation was suffering because Achan did what he did. Okay, you cannot have that in your midst and think that because it's not you, it doesn't affect you. No, it's part of you. If you are a witness, okay, and it will affect the whole congregation, the whole assembly. That is why we seek Father's perfect righteousness in the Spirit, because the Spirit will protect us from that. Protect us all from that. Okay, it will. The Father's Spirit protect us from that. This is what the Father's Spirit did here for them. Okay, let's continue. Verse 6. For your glorying is not good. Know ye not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump? Purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye may make a new lump, as ye are unleavened. For even Messiah, our Passover, is sacrificed for us. So a little leaven represents sin. Worse, it permeates the whole loaf of bread. Right? So this fornication messed up the whole assembly in Corinth. Okay, let's continue. And he's talking about keeping feasts here. Verse 8, therefore let us keep the feast not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice or wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. Now watch this part. Watch this part. Verse 9, I wrote unto you in an epistle, not to company with fornicators, not to company with fornicators. Does that mean anybody? No, watch. Read carefully, watch. Yet not altogether with the fornicators of this world, or with the covetous or extortioners, or with idolaters, for then we must needs go out of the world. In other words, you can't live in the world and think you're not going to be dealing with fornicators, extortioners, and idolaters. You're in the world, right? You can't leave the world. So what is he saying? Verse 11. But now I have written unto you not to keep company of any man that is called, and notice that he's saying, verse 11, 1 Corinthians 5:11. What did he call the one? Did he say any man that is called a Christian? Did he say that? Did he say that? He said if he was going to use Christianity, he'd have said any man called a Christian. See, look, the Christian is mentioned 3 times in the Bible. Each time it's heathen calling us Christian. It's not us calling each other Christians. So here's the apostle writing an epistle to the converts. And he said any man called a brother. He didn't say anybody called a Christian. Anybody called a brother, that is converted into the Israelite nation, grafted in or awakened by the bloodline, you are brothers and sisters. And he's saying if you're called a brother and you are living like this, don't communicate, don't be with this person. Don't have this person assemble with you because they're bringing their sin with you. Now, wait, that doesn't mean you don't want to talk to the brother. But you just can't have them in your assembly, because when you come together as an Israelite assembly, that's a holy lump right there. That's a blessing right there. What you're looking for is the outpouring of the Spirit. Wouldn't you want to assemble in a group that receives the outpouring of the Father's Spirit upon them? You cannot receive it if this is going on in the midst. But that doesn't mean you tell the brother, no, you can't fellowship with us right here. You know, not right now, okay? No. The brother repented his sin and admit his guilt. Okay, come on back. Come on back. You hear what I'm saying, y'all? If he trying to hide it, no, it really wasn't me. The woman done said it. The neighbor done heard you in there, in the room in there. Everybody know what's going on in your whole house. So come on now. You got to go back. Go, we'll talk to you after. Go outside, man. Can't be in the assembly because the Spirit can't come among us, but you here. But once you deal with this and you want us to talk, yeah, brother, can you come on? Yeah, I'll come by and talk to you. We can discuss it. Yes. But look, you can't assemble with us because you're gonna bring that spirit, man. We're trying to catch the Father's Spirit here. Okay. So don't assemble with the ox or the people that are doing this thing in terms of an assembly, when you physically coming together, if you're in an apartment. See, a church is an assembly. It's not a denomination. The Bible church is an assembly of people from the nation. So when you are getting together, whether it's in an apartment, in a park, in a building, wherever it is, you're assembling. In the synagogue, that's the synagogue right there. So you're assembling. You don't want to assemble with people that are trying to do this stuff. If and if you're one that's into these things, ask for prayer, but don't bring yourself in the congregation of the people when you're unrepentant from your sin. The congregation is a congregation of repentant sinners, not unrepentant, not hiding sin, repentant sinners. That's the key here. Repentant sinners. Okay? That's the key here. Yeah, that's it, Akawan. But you got to go by the Spirit. So, you can reach out, you can talk to them. They don't know. They ignorant, man. They don't know. We all was ignorant. Oh, remember that. All of us was ignorant. The only difference between us and them is that we have been awakened by the Father's Spirit by repentance. That's it. That's it. So if you have a brother that has been awakened by the Father's Spirit in repentance, and then he starts having sex with his stepmother, or he's messing around with somebody or doing something like he ain't supposed to be doing, okay, brother, listen, you go deal with this. We can help you, pray for you when you want to deal with this, but for right now, you can't be coming among us with that. You can't be coming around with that, okay? When you want to deal with it, let us know. And most times when a person is repentant, they'll be repentant. They'll ask for prayer and come back. But if they're not, they won't. They'll say, forget y'all. Y'all judging me. I'm going to do what I want to do. Okay, fine. Just go. Just can't come with us, okay? Just go. Because that's how it works. I've seen situations like that. Married woman having sex with some kid, some person. You're not supposed to be having sex with that person. You got a man. That's yours right there. What you doing with this person? Well, I don't care. I'm in love with him. Okay, good, fine. You got to go. You just can't be with us. Okay, you can go do that with him. Go in your house and you and your husband and him work that out. But you can't be here with us. Okay? Yeah, exactly. You see, my wife and I have seen it break up congregations. We've seen it. Okay, just people allowed to come among them, and that's even in Christianity. We're not even talking about Christianity now, but that was even in Christianity. You knowingly allow this to come, all these people in the same room, and you know what they're doing, and they know what they're doing. Or you have like a lot of times a choir director that's a homosexual, and you know that something ain't right with him having the kids. You know something ain't right. Like somebody said, sugar dropping all about his back his behind. You know something ain't right. You got to deal with that. Otherwise, all y'all gonna have problems. Okay? That's all he's saying here. Let's continue. For what have I to do to judge them also that are without? Do ye judge them that are within? But them that are without, Yah judges. Therefore, put away from among yourselves that wicked person. Okay, that's it. So, brethren, the key here is that we are repentant sinners. We acknowledge everybody sins. There's nobody that hasn't sinned now, but all of us are repentant sinners. And as repentant sinners, to glorify the Father, we want his Spirit through Messiah to come upon us. And we cannot do that if we fellowship with people that claim to be repentant sinners and are not. That's the key thing here. We're not expecting nobody to have sinned, but we can't fellowship with people that are claiming to be repentant sinners and are not repentant sinners. With 2 or 3 witnesses bearing witness that they're not repentant sinners. Okay? That's the key. Now, Romans chapter 14. Romans chapter 14. Okay, so now we're dealing with judgment among brethren. Now, there are things that people aren't clear on. And there's always going to be that. Like we were talking, me and the brothers were talking the other night about the doctrine of the flat earth. Right, brother? We were talking about the flat earth versus the round earth versus the dome. We were talking about all of that. And I kept stressing to the brothers, which I'm going to stress to you all now, we don't want to fight about this. This is not something we should be debating each other about. You have to be convicted in your own mind about these things. You see what I'm saying? So there's things that will come up among the Israelite nation that people will try. The enemy will try to sow seeds so that we fight each other over these things. And don't do that. Don't ever fight each other over these things. You and I must be convicted in our own minds and heart. Sort of like even the name of the Father. Some people say Yahuwah. Some people say Yahusha. Some people say Yahweh. I say Yahweh. Am I going to not fellowship with a brother that says, well, I call him Yahuwah? Does that make sense? Do we want to argue about that? Is it my job to make sure that you are on my conviction? Is it your job to make sure that I'm on your conviction? That's what we're talking about. Yet you'll get people that come among us saying, this brother way off on this Yahweh Shah stuff, or Yahweh, he way off. Watch him. As if that, that changes anything about my conviction or your conviction. So that's what we're dealing with judgment among each other. There's appropriate judgment, somebody committing fornication with their stepmother. And then there's judgment where you don't want to be messing with somebody that have nothing to do with anything but your conviction. Does that make sense, y'all? And we're dealing with each other. So that a Gentile that's out here doing what Gentiles do, what they got to do with us? That's not, they can smoke, drink, whatever they do. That's their business. Not our business. Our business is what Father wants from his nation. Right? That's our business. What Father wants from his nation, that's our business. What his word tell us, that's our business. You understand? So now, 1 Corinthians, churchianity, exactly. 1 Corinthians chapter 4, Romans chapter 14. I'm going to read from verse 1. I'm going to read from verse 1 down to verse 5. Romans chapter 14 from 1 to 5. Him that is weak in the faith, receive ye, but not to doubtful disputations. For one believeth that he may eat all things, another who is weak eateth herbs. But let not him that eateth despise him that eateth not. And let not him that eateth not judge him that eateth, for Yah hath received him. Who art thou that judgest another man's servant? To his own master he standeth or falleth. Yea, he shall be holden up, for Yah is able to make him stand. One man esteemeth one day above another. Another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. Now, people use this to try to talk about diet in terms of eating anything. First of all, we understand from the word that there is a dietary law, right? So we're not supposed to be eating pork. We're not supposed to be eating crabs or fish that does not have fins and scales. We're not supposed to be eating any kind of bird, just clean birds. And it names what birds are clean. Well, it tells you what birds are not clean. Like we're not supposed to eat a hawk or a vulture. That it tells you don't eat that. So there are dietary laws. He's not talking about doing away with dietary laws here. What is he talking about? There was Gentiles coming into the truth. Why would that have to do with anything eating? Now, Gentiles knew not to eat the unclean foods, but did they know how to properly prepare the foods? And why would that be an issue? Who prepared the meats in the days of Israel? The Levites. The Levites would kill the animals and drain the blood. See, in the Muslim culture, in the Muslim religion, they call it halal. Halal in Muslim is, they got it from us. They got it from us. Okay. And what did they get from us? They killed the animal. They raised the animal on good food. And then they killed the animal with a very sharp instrument so that its blood would drain. by its neck, right? And with jugular, it would be dead in a minute, 2 minutes. And they drain all the blood from the animal, hang it up and drain it. And then they would not eat the internal organs of the animal. The internal organs were burned. They would eat stuff like the shoulder, the thigh, the breast, the back, stuff where there was muscle, they would generally eat. Stuff that was like the heart, the kidneys, the caul. The Bible will tell you they burn that. Okay, they burn that. That's properly killed food. So now you got Gentiles coming into the faith, and maybe you had a Gentile that was a butcher, and maybe you don't know if that Gentile knows what to do, and maybe you don't want to eat his beef because you don't know what it's been. And maybe you are a brother that says, well, no, this is a brother and he's embracing Israelite faith of the Israelite people, the father's righteousness. He's part of the nation. And so he's learning, and I'm going to eat what the brother makes. Somebody said, well, no, just pass me the vegetables and rice, please. You see what I'm saying? So there are some that might say, well, yeah, you're a brother, all right, but you got pig in there? What you eat? What you eat? And he's like, no, I don't eat no pig. I'm grafted in. Okay, where does animal come from? So that's what he's talking about. So he's like, those that are weak, in other words, your faith is not strong in the Father's wisdom of bringing the brother in. Your faith not strong. Pass the vegetables and rice, please. No, I don't want to eat today. And somebody said, no, you're a brother. Put the food on the plate. Let's do it. Right? That's what we're dealing with. So he's saying, don't judge the brothers. And if those of us decide we want just the vegetables and rice, please, don't judge them. If that's what they want, fine. And don't judge the ones that say, no, put that steak on my plate. Let's cook it up well done and let's do this. Don't judge. Y'all got me? That's what we're dealing with here. And then let's take it a step further. You ready? Oh, man, it's Labor Day weekend coming up next weekend. Man, I don't care about no Labor Day. It's the same as any other day to me. That's a pagan. That's a holiday of Babylon. I ain't got nothing to do with it. And somebody say, well, it's Labor Day. I want to celebrate the fact that, we're honoring labor. You hear what I'm saying? Some people might say, man, what's wrong with you? You're supposed to be an Israelite, man. Where's Labor Day in the Bible? Right? And somebody might say, no, it's not in the Bible, but we're getting the day off. It's the holiday of the nation we're in. Don't judge each other. Don't judge each other on that. You hear what I'm saying? Oh, it's Veterans Day. What do I care about Veterans Day? Don't judge each other. Okay? You hear me? That's why I say some people esteem every day alike. And listen, it's another work day for me, Labor Day. I don't care, right? And some people say, no, it's a holiday it's a national holiday. It's a national holiday. Let's keep the national holiday. And so that's what he's talking about. He's not talking about doing away with the feasts or keeping the feast. It had nothing to do with that. It had nothing to do with eating everything because now Jesus died and all the folds are clean. It had nothing to do with that. He's dealing with now the inculcation of Gentiles into the nation. And he's dealing with how Israelites would deal with that. Okay? How you dealing with that? So you're in a nation and they're keeping a bank. In fact, in London and England right now, those of you in England, it's a bank holiday on Monday. What do you care about it? Well, I don't know. You might want to say, well, I'm going to take this paid day off. If it's paid day off, I'm taking this day off and I'm going to enjoy it, man. You understand what I'm saying? But my point is, that's not for me to judge you or you to judge me. That's for each of us to be persuaded in our own mind. I'm not going to judge you if you're having a cookout on Monday. And don't judge me if I say I ain't doing nothing on Monday. I don't care about that holiday. Like somebody like Zadok asked me about the 4th, like the 4th of July. This is what I think about the 4th of July. This is what I think about every holiday. It's a day off from work. Do I care about the 4th? Independence Day don't mean nothing to me because my people were still in chains on the 4th of July. But I'm not going to judge you if you want to run around with an American flag. That's your business. You hear what I'm saying? That's your business. I'm not going to do it, but that's me. Okay? I'm not doing it. Whatever. You understand? But that's not for me to judge you or for you to judge me. Okay? Oh, this brother's a Gentile. Where you get this meat from, man? Is it organic? Is it kosher? Where you get it from? I know chicken is clean, but did you cook it right? That's why Paul said sometimes if it's, sit down, eat your food, pray over it for conscience sake. Don't offend the brother. But he said, if eating the food of the Gentile make my brother to fall because they don't know if I'm still following the ancient fathers or the Hebrew or the word of the Most High, then I'm not going to eat any meat. I'll just tell you what, I'm not eating no meat from nobody. Yeah, you understand? So the point that he's making, don't judge each other on these things that are trivial, really, trivial. Don't judge each other on trivial stuff, man. Like that, right? Holidays or whatever. Okay. Now, when you awaken, there's certain things you know about certain holidays, the Halloween, the Christmas, the Easter. Like we know where that comes from. We know what that's all about. But there might be some of us that's not there yet. You understand? Some of us may not be there yet. We're not understanding what Ishtar is or Tammuz or All Hallows Eve. We may not understand that. So we live how we live. My wife and I, we put the lights off. We tell them, don't come up in here. We don't have no candy for you. No. But that's us. See, that's us. I'm not going to push all y'all to do it. You hear me? Okay, so it's not talking about Shabbat. It's not talking about feast days. It's not dealing with just eating anything. That's not the point of this. He's telling us, don't stop. He said, no, the term was doubtful disputations. That's just arguing on weak stuff that's not even worth your time. Okay? Y'all follow me? Y'all got me? And so, yeah, that's what this is about. That's what it's about right there. So we did all that. We went through judgment, was proper judgment according to Messiah, was not, all of that, right? And so we get a better, clearer picture of what judgment's about. Judgment is us dealing with each other as brothers and sisters, and judgment is us not whipping each other over the head with stuff. Judgment is us living as our conscience dictates. So you might go into a house and somebody's serving ribeye, and you said, I don't want to eat any meat. Okay, don't eat the meat. And I'm not going to judge you if you don't eat it, and you don't judge me if I'm sitting there enjoying my ribeye. You hear what I'm saying? That's okay. Don't judge each other like that. Okay. But if somebody is coming on here and they out here having sex with everything with a skirt and making babies and ain't trying their best to try to provide something, wait a minute, man. Bro, you bringing a bad rep, bad spirit into our assembly, man. We got to talk about that. And if he said, I admit I'm a womanizer, I'm a whoremonger, and I need help. Okay, come on in. But if you're trying to hide it, don't judge me. Okay, we won't judge you. Just get out of our, you ain't got to go home. You just got to get up out of here. Okay. There you go. It's not hard. It's just people make it hard because we've been brainwashed by white Jesus Christianity. And so we have to clear these things up as the Hebrews see it in the word. You understand? By the law and by the prophets. What did it say? Isaiah 8:20, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it's because there's no light in it. Praise the Most High. Praise the Most High. So we did do the build up in the background so we can get to chapter 14 clearly understanding what we're dealing with here. So we got more to deal. We got some more to deal with in chapter 14. We're going to take a break. It's now 1:05 Eastern Daylight Time. I'm going to probably come back about 2:15 Eastern Daylight Time, and we'll do part 2 of this chapter 14 here. But I hope you got a blessing today. I hope the Spirit of the Most High inspires you to move forward in the path of light and truth for the name's sake and righteousness sake of Father Yah and his Son, his only begotten Messiah, Yahushua. May the Most High bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Thank you, brethren, in the chat for the support, for the fellowship, especially the fellowship of each other. May we all, by the grace of the Most High, meet in the flesh one day. I'm really looking forward to that. And some of you, of course, we've already met. Let's continue to do our fellowship by the grace of the Most High. Let's keep praying for each other that we all stay faithful. Shalom.